Did you enjoy this year's E3? I kind of did. I looked at quite a few games. Some of them I won't mention here, but my top ones I definitely will. This one I think is a big winner, and that is Super Mario Odyssey. I was not expecting to like this game as much as I did. They did center the entire Nintendo booth around this game with New Donk City as the set piece. And I got to play two 10-minute demos, one in a sand area and one in New Donk City itself. The game is really exciting. I think it's so joyful and creative, where you use Cappy to throw at so many things, even just lampposts, even to stop enemies, to possess them. I'm sure you've seen that as well. It's so much fun. You can use the Switch's flicking ability, or you can just use the D-pad itself. It's up to you how you want to play it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of cute nods to the history of Donkey Kong inside of New Donk City, at least, and it seemed so detailed and so creative, and I said before, joyful. This game will make you happy to play. I think it will be it's already, the Switch is having no problem getting sold, but this is a system seller for sure. There were two highlights over at the Namco Bandai area, one of which was Ni no Kuni 2. I think this is a good game if maybe in the past you loved JRPGs and maybe you feel now they're different from what they once were, you are kind of disenchanted with them. This game is so cute. It's seamlessly cartoonish or anime-ish and leading into the actual parts that you control. It's very much Studio Ghibli inspired, being that the character designer and the music composer both came from there. So you will see a lot of characters, a lot of nods, and a lot of design that looks straight up like they could come from Studio Ghibli. It's very cute and sweet. It seemed a little bit more for a younger audience, though I think that may be deceptive. I think it may be enjoyed by older audiences as well. I also liked Dragon Ball FighterZ, even though I don't like Dragon Ball in general as a franchise. I'm fine with it. I don't consider myself a huge fan, but I loved how smooth it was. It's a very strong 2D fighter. I also played Marvel vs. Capcom. I would give the edge to Dragon Ball FighterZ, unless you are like me, maybe not so much into the world of Dragon Ball and more into Marvel, the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy now too, along with classic Capcom characters. I will say the character design is a little weird on some Capcom designers. Chun-Li doesn't really have the right eyebrows, and Dante's face is pretty, messed up. But it's also fun. I would just give the edge to Dragon Ball FighterZ for sure. You have 3-on-3 there. It's a lot of fun. It looks like a high quality anime, not the older ones, like the newer ones. It's very well animated, very smooth, very fun. It makes me want to watch more Dragon Ball and see what I've been missing. Over at the Ubisoft booth, I got to try out Assassin's Creed Origins and Far Cry 5. I will say that the highlight for me was Far Cry 5. It was a lot of fun. I got to play the demo twice with two different hired guns. I was gonna say companions. I will say that I preferred Grace to Boomer the dog because a sniper is more helpful to me than a dog, or I probably wasn't using it right. It could depend on play style. I like the idea behind this game a lot. I like that you are fighting an American militia. I like that Ubisoft was bold and ballsy enough to make this decision, and I respect that of them. But it's also the fun of Far Cry. I have heard in past years many people feel that Far Cry has gotten a little too formulaic. I think this new game does seem very different. I mean, it is focused on a charismatic leader and taking them down. And it could very well be that I'm an American, so I'm more attached to an American story myself. But I think it looks really good. I like the idea behind it. I like the execution of it. I like the different play styles I could encompass, but that's a hallmark of Far Cry. I would say it's a good continuation for someone who likes Far Cry games already. If you don't, I don't know if it's for you per se. I enjoyed it personally. And lastly, I got to do some VR because what trip to E3 is complete without a little confusing VR action, but mine wasn't confusing. It was actually really fun. Over in the Indiecade, I would say one of the larger booths in that area was Servios VR. I've played Raw Data before, which is a game in which you have dual pistols. One can fire and also teleport you to different parts. That's how you move around. And I like that because instead of walking around with the VR headset on and possibly breaking things, which I want to do, that is very helpful indeed. We also tried Sprint Vector, which is new for them this year. Raw Data has been moved out of early access and should be, the version that I played should be available for everyone soon. Sprint Vector is a little newer. It's creative. You may have seen the live video where we were moving our arms to race. I got really winded and tired, and it was fun and like wacky and a very interesting use of VR that I haven't really seen before. We're using the arm locomotion to propel yourself forward. It takes some getting used to, but if you're like the other guy who was in the booth with me, you will get used to it and you will kick ass at it. E3 is a very big show. Those are my highlights. I know there's plenty more all over the place. What were your favorite things that you saw this year or even maybe got to experience or demo yourself? Please let me know, and please like and subscribe for more.